What's up, guys? Welcome to Juice Podcast. My name is Salman Ali at Salman Ali NBA on Twitter and Blue Sky. Here joined by Forrest Walker at Do Not on Twitter and Blue Sky. How you doing, man?
Pretty good. Summer's finally here.
The summer is finally here. God, it is hot in Houston. I can't speak for Austin, but man, I went grocery shopping today, and just that walk from the car to the store is brutal. We're back at summer heat. I just every year when it's not that hot, like the moment where it's not that hot, it's like, oh, so maybe it's not gonna happen this year. Maybe we're not gonna. But
Yeah, every year you think, hey, it's a mild summer. We have a mild summer here too. It's been really like 80s, 90s, like low 90s mostly. But by the time August comes around, it's gonna be hot. So you just gotta roll it. You just gotta enjoy it. You just gotta enjoy it.
I'll make the most of it. I'm not sure if I'll enjoy it, but I'll make the most of it. All right, so obviously, we last talked after the Kevin Durant trade. The Rockets did a few more things since then. Not really anything crazy notable, but we haven't really riffed or debriefed on the Rockets summer. And I just can't stop thinking about it. Like every single day, I think about the Rockets, and that's rare for me at this point in the NBA calendar. Like I don't think about them in late July, right? It's just like at this point, everything's done. Most teams have finished up, right? Like there are a couple of signings that are like basically done, but not done, right? Like Al Horford's gonna go to the Warriors at some point, right? But
Sure, yeah.
everything's done, and I feel like initially when we first saw this Kevin Durant trade, the first reaction everyone had was like, "Oh, this is the Rockets are like the number one threat to the Oklahoma City Thunder now, right?" And now I feel like that hipster opinion starting to come in. Right?
Okay. All right. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure if you know where I'm going with this, but it's like, okay, is Kevin Durant really going to work on this team? I've seen that. Like, was this really a smart decision by Houston to go after this 37-year-old? And there's also the Denver Nuggets. Actually, they had the best offseason, right? Like, I mean, I'm seeing that everywhere now. Like that is now becoming close to consensus. Now, I'm not saying that people think that that I'm not saying it's unreasonable for people to think that Denver is the greatest threat to Oklahoma City Thunder. I think that's a reasonable opinion for one to have. They have the best player in the world in Nikola Jokic. But this idea that anybody got better as a team more than Houston did is flat out ridiculous. Like, we need to end that right now. We need to stop that, nip that in the bud.
The only team I would listen to an argument for is honestly Atlanta. I think Houston did better than Atlanta, but I think Atlanta had a really good offseason.
Yeah, they got, in terms of margin of getting better,
yeah.
I guess you could say they got close, right, to Houston?
Yeah, I want to give them the respect. They've earned it.
Right, and Denver had a good offseason, right?
Denver had a really good offseason. I think it's an easy number 3.
Right, yeah, and I think it's reasonable to say that, hey, there were other teams that had good off seasons, but it's flat out unreasonable to say that there was any move more impactful this summer than Kevin Durant to Houston, or that any team had a better off season than the Houston Rockets. I'm at that point. Somebody commented on last week's show saying that I sounded like a homer. I'm sorry. There are two other times that I felt this way about a Rockets offseason. One of them I was horribly wrong, and one of them I was not right enough. The Ty Lawson summer, I was horribly wrong. I thought they would win the title. This summer,
a lot of us.
And we'll see what happens there. And then the summer where they traded for Chris Paul, right? And I thought they got meaningfully better. I wasn't right enough. Right? That's how I feel. I'm on that level. I'm on that level of they killed it this offseason. We're going to go into grades here. I have them at an A. If they make a couple moves here, and I guess we'll talk about, Tyrese extension, Kevin Durant extension. If they put a bow on this summer, I think even if they don't do that, they're at an A. But if they put a bow on it, I'm at A+.
Yeah, I think I agree in principle. So let's go over this. Who has had a better offseason than the Houston Rockets picking up Kevin Durant, picking up all these things. They signed Josh Okogie. It's the last thing. That's the only thing they did since we last talked, by the way.
Right.
So that's the thing. Kevin Durant. I'm sorry.
They traded for Kevin Durant. They signed Clint Capella. They got Josh Okogie. They got Dorian Finney-Smith, right? Like
Mhm.
they had a killer summer.
Yeah. That's then all right. So in Kevin Durant, Dorian Finney-Smith, Clint Capella, and Okogie. Out, you have Jaylen Green, Dylan Brooks,
Five
and
second
Cam Whitmore.
rounders. Yeah.
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 And like they waived Jock Landale. Good luck
Yeah.
to him elsewhere. So I think the math on this, even I guess to say the Cam Whitmore loss does sting a little bit. Well, we can get into that later.
Yeah, and that's also a part of the reason why I don't have it as A plus. Like, if Whitmore wasn't traded, like I may be more like, don't even need the extension. I'll give him an A plus. Right.
Yeah.
That's kind of what's holding me back a little bit. But go ahead.
Yeah. All that together is so to go back over it. Kevin Durant, obvious Hall of Famer, top 15 player in the league, even still. Though,
Eighth all time in
yeah,
scoring. Right. Yeah.
we can talk about if and when that top 15 player status is going to fall off. Right. It may be sooner than later. I have something for that, but Dorian Finney-Smith is going to make up for the loss of Dylan Brooks in a lot of ways. He's not a one-to-one swap for him, but in the 3 and D category, he's going to make up for a lot of that. He's maybe he's a similar tier of defender. He doesn't create at the same level that Brooks does, but at the same time, he doesn't try to create the same level Dylan Brooks does.
Yeah, and he may be a better. Actually, he's probably just as good of a 3-point shooter, right? And like, yeah, and like I would say that the difference really is like they're defending different positions. Like me personally, at this point in his Dorian Finney-Smith's career, I'm more comfortable with him defending bigger wings and forwards, and you can kind of trust Dylan Brooks to defend guards, right? And like I think DFS can guard guards, right? But like that's just a preference thing. Right? I think he is better suited to guard those front court players.
Yeah.
But functionally, I get what you're saying. Role wise, like
a fairly close fit, like as close as you're liable to get in the modern NBA.
Mm-hmm.
They brought in, as you said, Clint Capella to be that third big man that Jock Landale was not able to be. It was not really kind of for the role of. So now they have two. They have a real backup for Steven Adams, and someone who
was already their backup, right? Like they have a backup for their backup,
which they're probably going to need because of age and health. And
right.
that also lets them do things like run a double big lineup for an entire 48 minutes in a game.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to have any point where there aren't two centers on the floor if that's the kind of game they want to run on that given night. Bringing in Okogie is, I think, overall a good move. He's insurance. He's depth. He's protection against insurance. He's some good depth. He's not going to bring the shooting that they love to see, but he's the kind of player that Udoka is going to be comfortable with and is going to be able to slot in if things happen. At a minimum, you can't complain about that.
Yeah, and like this is kind of what I mean. Like I got a certain point, the Rockets in 2018 started making moves. I'm like, oh, this is Hitler. They don't even need this guy, right? Like Luke Mbah-a-Moute for the minimum, right? Jaylen Green for the minimum, right? That wasn't even an offseason move, but that was like a that year move, right? Like they just killed. Like I think they brought Nene back that summer as well, right? Like I think they just consistently killed it, and like that's kind of what they did here, right? They didn't need Josh Okogie. They didn't need Clint Capella. I don't know why they went and got Clint Capella. I suspect it's because they like the double bigs a lot, right? But like they did stuff they didn't even need to do anymore at a certain point, right? They only really needed to do that one thing, which is go get Kevin Durant, right? And it's, I mean, let's go over this. Short-term implications for the Rockets summer, and then we'll go into long-term.
So what I'm going to say is this, is that we thought this was going to be a move that would set them up for the next step, right? That they would trade for Kevin Durant, then they'd get into being a legitimately good team, and then they can tailor the team over the next year or so, right? That's sort of what you'd expect from this. They went ahead and did the whole damn thing. They got Kevin Durant, they put themselves in position to then contend, and then they went and made all the little moves that you want to make when you're going to contend. They crossed their T's and dotted their I's right away. Yeah. So, that means short term, instead of talking about what we might have been talking about, which is, well, they're going to be good this year, they should improve and be in the hunt. Hopefully they'll make it to the conference finals. No, this is a team that the short-term implications are as follows. If they don't make the finals, hell, if they don't, they want to make the finals. They expect they should be able to make the finals. And if they don't make the conference finals, they're going to be kicking themselves in the butts over it.
I agree. Short-term implications is they're a real title contender now. Not like last year when they were a cute story second seed, right? This is a real deal title contender. The rebuild's over. We've talked about that a bunch, but it is definitively over. The roster is stacked. I would take Houston against almost any team in the league right now. In fact, on DraftKings, they have the second best title odds, only after the Thunder, right? They have them second in the Western Conference in over-under win totals at 55.5. I'm not going to lie, Forrest, that feels a tad low to me, which feels surreal to say. 55.5, low. But that's how I instinctually feel, right?
Yeah.
I said it on the last episode. My gut tells me the Rockets will be in the same tier as the Thunder next year. That's what my gut tells me, right? I suspect that's outside the mainstream opinion. In fact, we had Dan Favale on the show last week.
Great show, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Right. And yeah, I am outside the mainstream opinion on that, right? Like most people have the Thunder by themselves in a tier, and I get it. Right? Like a lot of the Western Conference, to be honest, is uncertainty, right? Because so many teams look different, not only from like this summer, but like from the before the trade deadline. Like there's so many moves happen. Like Luka's a Laker, Jimmy Butler's a Warrior, and we have limited sample on those teams, along with aging teams. Like Steph is going to be 38 or something. Like LeBron is 40. Like we have a lot of uncertainty. We need to see these teams for the first 20 games. And I understand if that's the reason why you're holding off. But if you're saying that looking at the talent on paper, you think that any team other than, I would say, the Denver Nuggets is on the same level as the Thunder, I think you're out of your mind. I think the Clippers, like instinctually, like I really like what they did this summer, right? I'm not gonna lie, I do like what the Clippers did this summer, but that team is old. That team is injured,
and not just one guy old. They're top to bottom old.
Yeah, and that team is unreliable for multiple reasons, right? Right? We're like, I don't feel that way about Houston. Like, if we're talking just a guttural feel, I feel like the Denver Nuggets are a reliable team, the Oklahoma City Thunder are a reliable team, and I feel like the Rockets are going to be a reliable team, which feels crazy because we haven't seen them.
Well, here's the thing with the Rockets is we have seen a lot of them. There's actually more continuity than you might assume from a team that moved in two new rotation players, moved out 2 rotation players, and then flipped a couple of deep bench guys as well.
Yeah, they traded out 2 starters, and we're saying there's continuity, but I agree with you, right?
The most rotation is the same guys, and we've seen them go. And we know, and here's the important thing, we know that this team has depth. That's the important part, is that we know they go 2 or 3. They go 2 playoff deep and 3 regular season deep in this team, which means that there are injury concerns with a couple of Houston's older players. They have a couple 30-something. They have 3 or 4 30-somethings on their team now who are going to be playing actual minutes. And they have Kevin Durant, who's 37. Well, he's about to be 37, right? It doesn't matter. He's in the later stage of his career. He's going to need rest. He's going to miss games. It's going to happen. We know this, and they're going to be ginger with him because they can be, and that's a strength of the team. Is that we know that even though Kevin Durant's going to miss games, we know they can win games without him. We know they can win regular season games grinding it out with defense. We've seen these guys do it. Like if Kevin Durant misses the whole season, this team is still like gonna win more games than last year. I think that's the thing.
Yeah, and to the guy who commented like call me a homer last week in the comments, right? I know I'm stuck up on this, right? You're not wrong, right? Like you're not wrong, right? I sound like that, but tell me I'm wrong, right? Like tell me anything I'm saying is inaccurate. Like tell me that you don't feel the same way about this Rockets team. Tell me that I'm not being objective when I'm talking about them, because they won 52 games last year. They swapped out Jaylen Green, who is a 54% true shooting guy, for a 62 career percent true shooting guy in Kevin Durant, right? Like they traded him for one of the greatest scorers of all time, right? And they swapped out. They lost Dylan Brooks, cool. They got Dorian Finney-Smith back. They got Clint Capella out for Jock Landau, right? Like they and they got rid of a disgruntled young player, right? Which like you can argue that, hey, are the Rockets going to regret that? We'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, But
I hope for Cam and look, and I'm also positive to say, I hope that for Cam and Jalen's sake that they make Houston regret this.
sure.
I hope they have all the success in the world. Neither of them did anything wrong. I was just saying this last night that these players, some teams get mad when players get traded away from them or go on to greener pastures. But to everyone listening, Jaylen Green never did anything wrong. Jaylen Green was a great presence in the locker room by all accounts, and he did to his best of his ability what he was asked to do. It wasn't what the Rockets needed from him.
His ability just wasn't enough,
Yeah,
right? Like
but
that's out of his somewhat out.
Yeah, that's just life, and I hope he has a lot of success in Phoenix. I hope that Ken Whitmore has a lot of success in Washington. They were the wrong player in the wrong situation in Houston because of the way things worked out. It wasn't anyone's fault. They were both look. Jaylen Green was so gracious about it. I just want to put that out there. Jaylen Green was so gracious about all this.
That letter, he did not have to write that.
No,
it
was such a pro move. It was such like.
That's like something that like somebody who's been here for 10, 15 years writes. He was here for 4 seasons. And he felt the need to write that.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's such really shouts out to Jaylen Green. You were a class act in every way. I hope you make all of us look stupid, but I hope the team beats you.
But I will say this: I think there's a real chance that Jaylen Green is a lot better next year, and I would say even if he is a lot better next year, I don't think there's a way he makes the Rockets regret this trade because I just believe Kevin Durant over the next 2 years is going to be better than whatever Jaylen Green is going to be over the next 2 years. And that's enough for me. Long term, maybe Jalen's the better guy to have for the next 7 years, right? But over the next 2 years, I feel safe in saying Houston's going to come out ahead.
Yeah, I mean, even if Jaylen Green comes out toward the top of his possibility space, it still was not the right kind of player that Houston needed for the team right now, is the reality of it. Their subsequent drafts just ended up changing a situation that if he'd morphed into a more of a hybrid guard, like who can distribute the ball and bring the ball up court, that would have been a different matter. But
or if he was just more efficient, I think that was I think if he was starting at if he shot 59% true shooting last year, okay, I'm then maybe he could really make Houston regret this by becoming a 64% true shooting guy, right? But looking at where he is, and I just don't believe over the next 2 years he's going to get to a level where he is actually better than Kevin Durant, right? That's kind of where I'm at. But I will say this, Jaylen Green, to his credit, has always had incredible self-awareness, and I would say this even before the draft. He knew what his weaknesses were. He talked about it. And he worked on it, right? He became a better passer. He became a better defensive player, and he talked about becoming that before he got to Houston, right? So this is he's always known what the weak points of his game were. And in this letter, he talked about, hey, if I was the GM, I think I'd make the trade too, right? Yeah. So that's a incredibly grown man thing to say, right? Because the childish thing to say is, well, not even the childish thing, right? The
normal thing to say.
I'm gonna make them regret it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what most people say, and he did playfully say, "I'm going to light y'all up," but he did it in a very respectful and mature way. So huge kudos, tons of respect.
Very mature young man.
Yeah, I think they're going to like him a lot in Phoenix. What Houston's going to like a lot is all the games they're going to win. It's the thing. This is now. I've talked about how it's possible they've kind of jumped past the part where they're really trying to win games in the regular season. And I think that may be a little bit true because I think they're going to know they need to keep some powder dry for the playoffs. But do you think that the Denver Nuggets are going to be more going for it in the regular season than Houston is? I doubt that.
I think Jamal Murray wants to start the year better than he has the past couple of seasons, right? And I think that may not because they're going for it, but because Jamal wants to start off.
Yeah, because they feel a little embarrassed about the last couple seasons.
Yeah, I think because they want to start off on the right foot, that may just induce it naturally that they're better. But I'm not sure. I'm with you. I think they rack up probably the second best record in the West at worst.
Yeah, right? I think there's a really good chance that Oklahoma City and Houston are going to be neck and neck pretty much the whole year. So I think Oklahoma City might take their feet off the gas a little bit, which is not even to speak anything about Oklahoma City. It's just that when you win a championship, you usually take your foot off the gas a little bit. Mm-hmm. In large part because 4 rounds in the playoffs is a lot of damn games. and you're tired as hell after that.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't surprise me even if Oklahoma City is a better team this season, which I think there's every reason to believe that they can and perhaps will be because they have a bunch of young players who are still improving, just like Houston does. They might take a step back in terms of wins just because it's natural to do that after winning a championship.
Yeah, and I think also the Western Conference got a lot better, right? Like and a lot of healthier, right? I think that may also like naturally like I'm not saying that I'm with you. I don't think they're gonna drop off and become like a 50-win team or something, right? Like
No,
I think,
but they might win like 2 or 3 games less this year or something.
yeah, they might be like a 62-win team, right? Which is like not at all like anything to sneeze at. And also like I think there's also the possibility it goes the other way, right? Like if you look at that 72-win Warriors team, like they won the title, right? And then they're like, oh no, we're gonna show you guys that we're actually gonna become a dynasty now, right? Like, right? There's that, right? Which,
yeah,
right? Because some of the stuff that was talked about with that Warriors team was talked about with this Thunder team. Like, hey, like if X player doesn't get hurt, what happens? Or if X happens, like they got pushed way too hard in the playoffs that the year prior, like. Are they really this good? Right? Like is this real? Like some of that, I'm not saying on a mainstream level that's happening, but like you see that on some corners of the internet, right? Like some people
I can
question,
see that.
like and like if they're that kind of team that finds that kind of internal, like, hey, we have to like show everybody that we were like, no, like we still would have been this damn good, right? If X and Y didn't happen. So like if they feel that kind of like fire in their belly, maybe. But yeah, you're right. I'm with you. I think more realistically, they take a couple games off. But let's play a game for a second before we get to
games.
Before we get to win totals. This wasn't in the rundown that I sent you. It's the end of the season. Ime Udoka just got doused in Gatorade. Fred VanVleet is on the sidelines asking his fiance what finger he should put the second championship ring on. Right?
Okay, all right.
What is the single biggest thing that has to go right for Houston to make this fake reality a real reality?
Amen Thompson's a legitimate star.
Okay, my thing was close to this. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think if Amen Thompson can make the leap from where he's like kind of he was close to an all-star this year, but like not quite an all-star. I think the expectation is that he pushes up into being like somewhere in the all-star caliber this year, right? Like that'd be a normal growth for him, is to be like like an Alperen Sengun last year, like bottom of the all-star list, right? That's what you expect him to grow into. If he can grow into like a top 20 type guy, if he can make a real leap from fringe star to like legitimate star to undeniable star, that's going to be, I think, the single biggest. If there's a Rockets championship, I think we look back and say that's one of the biggest factors on it, that they had 2 legitimate star level players working together.
My thing was one of Alperen Sengun or Amen Thompson becomes an All-NBA level player, along with Kevin Durant reestablishing All-NBA level play, right? Which I think when the games he played, he was All-NBA level, right? It's just like,
I mean, he's never not.
right? But what I'm trying to say is like, if he's like solidly a top 10 to 15 player and someone else on the roster becomes that, which is kind of like, I mean, that is kind of a lot of what we're talking about when we talk about our belief in this team, right? We believe that there's someone on this roster that is going to become an all-star at the moment. Not all NBA maybe, but like when we talk about like their regular season, like, hey, they're going to rack up all these wins. We kind of say subtly saying that someone else here is going to become a star.
Yeah, we're pressing in growth of these players.
Right.
Who, a lot of them are very young, and they're going to be better than they were last year. That's another big part of it, is that, like, as much as it's true about Oklahoma City, it's equally true, if not more so, about Houston, that they have guys who are growing into their roles, who are figuring it out in the NBA. Like, Sengun was an all-star this year, and he has a lot of room to grow.
He has a lot of room to get back because he fell back in efficiency, right? Like, if he just gets back to that level of efficiency, plays that same level of defense, right? Like, that's a better player.
I mean, with the amount, they're not going to need quite as much one-on-one creation from him this coming season, because they will have more pressure valves. Like, with Kevin Durant out there, yeah, you don't have to say, well, things are tight, I guess we're gonna send it down to the middle to Alpi and see what he can figure out down there. Like, so much of the time, it was just, all right, here's a pass in, figure out what you can do against the best defender. But now they have options. Now they can say, Kevin Durant, you figure out what to do against one of their best defenders.
Right.
And he's better at that than almost anyone in the whole league. When it comes to just a guy trying to make a shot out of nothing, who do you trust more than Kevin Durant?
I guess like Jokic, but like that's it. Like right, like Jokic,
Right?
yeah, Jokic, Luka, like we're talking about like the top 4 or 5 guys.
You're
right?
talking MVP guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and I'm with you. Like he is that damn good, and like I think part of the reason, like, I don't think the Rockets are being underrated. I don't want to go that far with it, but there is a little bit of like hipsterish stuff going on, right? Where like people forget about what the biggest move of the offseason, and like we start like talking about other teams and like a cute story kind of thing.
Well,
Actually, X team had the best offseason this summer,
well,
right?
everyone talked about the Rockets quite a lot a month ago.
Right.
So
I'm not saying that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that people are underrating the Rock. I'm not being that guy, right? I'm not being that guy, but I am saying that there's some of that little, like, hey, hey, actually, is Denver like I heard the Athletic actually do a podcast. Friend of the podcast, Dave DeVore, actually said on the podcast like he was doubting a little bit the Kevin Durant to Houston trade, and I'm just like, so like that was like that shouldn't even be in the ether, right? That shouldn't even be in the ether. That's kind of what I'm saying, right?
like Dave makes content, baby. You know he does.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like Dave's a friend. Like he's been on the show before multiple times. Like it's mostly like I'm starting to see this pop up everywhere, right? Like a little bit of like, hey, actually Denver, had the best offseason this summer, or actually Oklahoma City by extending their guys had the best. And I'm like, okay, that's cool, right? Like I get what you're trying to do here. Like, okay, the title contender that kept all their guys had the best offseason. Stop it. I know what you're doing, but stop it. Houston had the best offseason. Like, let's stop that right now. Like, let's establish that right now. Houston had no matter what happens in the regular season, they had the best process, right? No matter what happens, like they theoretically got the most better on paper. We need to stop this. We need to stop this.
I'm not worried about it.
I know
that's just the content cycle.
I'm a little neurotic about it. I get it. I get it. But it is driving me a little crazy, like hearing it on podcasts.
People they gotta talk about something.
I know.
You gotta put grist in the mill. It's totally fine.
Sure.
Look. Stone is gonna win Executive of the Year. All right. Like I think that's extremely likely he's gonna win Executive of the Year. Guys who make a big move like this and then go on their teams decently better tend to win it. So. I think there's like a better than 50% chance that Stone's Executive of the Year. And we all go, yeah, obviously they had the best offseason. Like, no, it's not. This is all going to come out in the wash. Like, once we get underway, all this stuff's not going to be worth worrying about anymore. People talk.
I'm not worried, right? Like, this is more like maybe I'm just trying to find his stuff to talk about.
That's fine. That's your job.
Yeah. No, and a lot of this is just like, God damn, this team is so good, right? Like I look at this roster. I said this in the last show. I look at this roster every day, Forrest, and I'm trying to find the weakness, right? And I found one potential one, right? But it's not really a weakness, right? Because I'm not sure if it's really a need, right? Which is like backup point guard. Can Reed be that guy, right?
Yeah, that's the biggest question mark,
right? Like and like they're putting a lot of eggs in the basket, and that's. To me, like even if the basket fails, they have Aaron Holiday, they have Kevin Durant. They don't need guards like that, right? Like they don't need someone to be that guy. But if Reed is that guy, it's just whipped cream, man. That's what that is.
Yeah. I mean, I think they really to be an elite team. That's not our answer to your question. If we do look back at a championship win this coming summer, Reed Shepherd is going to have to be kind of good. He's not going to have.
That would be my second thing that have to happen. He doesn't
have to be a star. By no means have to be a star, but he has to be like pretty good. Like he has to be like low starter, high bench kind of zone, right? That's the floor for him.
No, I get what you're saying. Yeah,
that's where he needs to hit. If he can hit that, then like they'll have a real shot at it. I think it's a lot if he's not like a good bench player, if he's like a mediocre to like poor bench point guard, if Aaron Holiday ends up being better than him, that does put a damper on what you're going to be able to do in a 7-game series.
Yeah, like he has to like show some of that beginning of his career Tyler Hero stuff, right? Like where Tyler Hero wasn't like the starter, right? But he was like, oh, this young guy has a little bit of promise, right? And that to me is kind of like what he. I mean, Houston wants him to show that kind of stuff, right? I'm not,
and they think he will. They
Right.
clearly think he will.
right. And Rafael's like, oh, he has to be good. He has press conferences where he's talking about like Reed as like an essential part of what the Rockets are doing next season. And listen, it's a lot of pressure to place on your backup point guard, but I mean, this is kind of in large part why they picked him number 4, right? Like or number 3, excuse me. Yeah. Right. Like they believe it's belief. They believe in him. I believe in him too. But again, this is me searching for possible weaknesses. I think another possible weakness is the obvious one, health, right? But other than that, right? I guess
they're a little light on shooting.
Floor spacing is what I was gonna say. Yeah, like I'm not like, but you can make it work, right? Like you can find enough shooters on this roster to be, and like it's not like the rest of the Western Conference is like covered in shooters right now. Like every team in the NBA seems to be doubling down on bigs, so it doesn't feel like we're in that NBA anymore where you have to have 4 out all the time.
I mean, really, the big question with this team is, can they beat the 2 or 3 other teams who they care about beating? Because the reality is that if you're not Oklahoma City, if you're not the Denver Nuggets, if you're not, let's throw the Wolves in here, right? I think the Wolves are deserving of being put on the fringe of this group. They're like,
if you're gonna force me,
sure, like if we're gonna put anyone else in that group, it's gonna be them, right? But like there's like.
Can I tell you where I'm at with the Wolves? Like they could make their 3rd straight Western Conference this year, and I'm still gonna be like, really, like the Wolves, right? That's where I'm at with the Wolves.
Okay, what if they beat the Thunder to do it?
If they beat the Thunder, like okay, is a healthy Thunder?
Like pretty healthy,
what's pretty healthy?
Like minus their 4th best starter at most.
Okay, their 4th best. Okay, yeah. Then I believe in them, right? Like, but if the core 3 are healthy. Like no, like they're not beating that team.
But I'm just saying, like the teams that it matters, if like it doesn't, we know Houston's gonna beat, like 11, 12 teams in the Western Conference is the thing. Like we know they're better than the pile of these teams. It's those 2 or 3 teams that matter. It's like the Thunder and Nuggets. That's the question mark: is are they able to get over that hump?
Right, and I think from a regular season like perspective, I think they'll be at least as good.
Yeah, they'll
for the playoffs. They need what you said, right? For that picture to be real, like you need one of these guys to be all NBA caliber, right? Like
you need a second all NBA player, and you need Reed to hold the fort when Fred's not out there.
Yeah.
And like honestly, and the third thing I would say is that you need some of these guys. You need at least a couple of these guys to get a little better at shooting threes. Like we need Atari. Bari's there, honestly. Like in the playoffs, he showed it. I'm not worried about Bari.
I'm not worried about Bari either. Yeah,
but like Tari, Schengen, and Thompson, those 3 guys, at least 1 or 2 of them needs to get like 1 or 2 points better at shooting threes this season.
Even a men, like we as a media cannot take the pressure off of a men to get better as a shooter, right? Like because I know we're all very excited about him, right? But like the beginning of his career, we were all talking about the jump shot. We can't stop talking about the jump shot because for him to actualize like his high end potential, like the jump shot has to be there, right? Like
he needs like a credible 3-point shot. Yeah. He needs like a credible outside shot. Yeah. Whether it's like it doesn't need to be great. It doesn't need to be like that good. It just needs to be that if you leave him open, he's gonna make you pay enough that it hurts.
Yeah. So like in order for us to see him actualize that, we need to keep that pressure on him. But yeah, no, you're right. Like I think Tari shot like 36% from 3 last year, maybe 35.8 or something like that. Like that to me is fine, but you would definitely like him to
like
see
a little better.
Like 37% would be better, right? Like if I could see that from everybody on the roster at minimum, or like not everybody, but like
like a few of those guys, the guys who are not great at shooting. I mean, we need to hopefully just playing with Kevin Durant will leave them enough space that they'll shot to be like they're likely to have a little bit more open shots this season, and therefore those numbers will climb up a bit naturally.
I also like just thinking about it out loud. I also don't think they're as light on shooting as maybe we're making it out to be. Kevin Durant is one of the greatest shooters of all time, right?
Yeah.
Fred VanVleet is pretty damn good at 3-point shooting, right? I would say that Jabari Smith Jr. like is a good 3-point shooter. That's 3 out of their starting lineup, and we're also expecting like some real Reed Shepard minutes this year, and he was
and
an
he's
excellent shooter as a prospect, right? And
yeah.
I, like that's like 4 out of their top 6 guys, 7 guys. Like,
DFS is a great shooter.
yeah, I don't think they're as light as people are making, or not people. No one, I don't know if people are talking about it as we're making it out to be right now.
I mean, I think it's partially because, or a lot because, watching them last season not being able to knock down shots was an ongoing problem for them.
But we got to be honest about where that was coming from. I mean, Jaylen, right? Like, and Jaylen's not there anymore, right? Like,
well, it was Jaylen, but it was also like Fred VanVleet had a cold stretch for like 2 months.
Fair.
You know, like these guys are streaky is the thing, and they also the other thing which we don't talk about, but we should, is that boy, they sure couldn't finish open shots at the rim last season for reasons that were puzzling to me.
I think
maybe just youth.
No. I think we talked about this again. Like a lot of Şengün's efficiency was like he just stopped making like
shots he makes,
stuff that he usually made, right? And we're never gonna know definitively what that was until we see another season in the books, right?
Yeah, we need to know, is this his new normal? Is he gonna bounce back to that,
or was it an albatross, right? Yeah, and we'll find out. I think you're right. Like there are things to question, but these are questions that existed last year, and they were 12th in offense, right? Can they? You're telling me that if they adding Kevin Durant and still having these question marks can't get them to top 8 by itself without some of these questions getting answered?
Well, and here's the big deal about this, right? Which is that you might say, okay, they're going to shoot better for sure, and that's going to make their offense better for sure. Like they're going to be better on first attempt. But a lot of their offense last season was founded upon the twin towers of live ball, fast breaks, and offensive boards.
Are there going to be as many offensive boards for them this year, though?
That's the question. I mean, I think their rebounding is going to still be excellent because they didn't get smaller.
What I'm trying to say is, should we want them to have as many offensive boards? Because that means they're missing.
Yeah, percentage-wise,
right.
We want to hope it's the same, but by number, number should go way down,
right?
Because they should just be canning shots. Hopefully, if they're still getting that many offensive boards per game, that is a huge concern. Or they're just shooting in the first 3 seconds of the shot,
or they're playing really fast, right? Yeah. You know, I'm with you.
Which would be fine if it's like a man on the fast break type situation. Look, if they have a lot of possessions because like Ahmed and Ty are stealing the ball every other possession, cool. That's great. That's fantastic offense. But then, then everything's totally cool. We're not worried about any of this anymore. But yeah, the thing with them is I don't think we've seen any reason to suspect that their offensive rebounding percentage is going to meaningfully drop, or that their live ball turnover, like forcing turnover percentage, is going to meaningfully drop this year.
I think they're going to want to play a little bit slower because of Kevin Durant. So
sure.
That could be a reason why they're not as fast as they were, but that doesn't mean that Tari and Jabari and Amen aren't still getting these deflections.
Yeah, I mean, if they can get a steal, they're going to get a steal. You don't turn that down just because you play slower in a half court.
No. That's not. Yeah, and
so,
but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, that's my point. Is that these things that were buoying their offense, that people are like, well, their offense is actually pretty bad in a half court. They have to start doing these other things to make up for it. They're not stopping those things that are making up for it. Mm-hmm. They're just going to have them in addition to a much better half court offense.
Yeah, I get what you're saying now. Yeah,
it's not like a give and take. They're just adding.
Nothing's dropping off.
No, nothing's dropping off. Their offense should just be better. Now, of course, when rubber meets road, you never know what's going to happen. But
yeah.
It looks pretty damn good right now.
Yeah, I can talk this confidently only because I think that this is going to happen, right? If they come out and they don't do it, right? This podcast sounds ridiculous. Last podcast sounds ridiculous.
But so does everyone's. So.
Yeah. But like, and that's why I don't like talking about health as much, because like you can say that about every team in the NBA, right? And like, unless you're the Clippers, who like have like 2 late 30s stars who like have injury concerns in their very recent past, like I don't want to do that, right? Or the Sixers, right? Like I don't want to do that. I don't want that to be the subject of every podcast.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, hopefully everyone knows that if your best player goes down for the season, then your team is in deep trouble. Like, that's just a given. That's just a part of the game.
That
If
doesn't.
that's
Yeah.
no, that if that's how it shakes out, that's a different matter entirely. I just mean, like, it's possible it doesn't work how we think it's going to. Yeah, I mean, if Kevin Durant and Amen Thompson both break their legs in the first week of the season, obviously we don't feel stupid. We just feel sad because we were robbed of something beautiful. But knock on wood that everyone stays healthy. I think it's hard to. I think it's hard to predict this team to be anything less than what they were last year. That's the main thing. Is that it's really hard to look at this team and say, I think maybe they got worse. I don't think there's any direction in which they got worse, unless things are like go so sideways that we're looking at the Ty Lawson year as a good year.
Yeah. Wow. That was dark. What you just said. That was really dark. I don't think people remember the Ty Lawson year. They need to go look that up.
I don't think they need to. You don't need to worry about that kind of trauma, folks.
Thank God for non-guaranteed contracts. So long-term implications. This is where we can get a little fun with this, right? Because like short-term, we're being boring. We're just saying they're gonna be really good, guys. Yeah. They're gonna be really, really good, right? Long-term,
they improved.
So I think the biggest long-term implication of this summer is they narrowed in on 6 guys, right? Like, it's Amen Thompson, it's Alperen Şengün, it's Reed Shepherd, it's Jabari Smith, it's Tari Eason. Or 5 guys, excuse me. Right?
Yeah, they went out the core 5 to the core, or the core 7 to the core 5.
Right, yeah.
They picked the 5 guys, which that's super impressive, by the way, that they seem right now like they're willing and potentially able to keep these 5 guys together.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of that has been shrewd negotiating on Rafael's part on getting these numbers low, right?
Yeah, that's a huge one. That this offseason has been team-friendly deal after team-friendly deal for the Rockets with players who are signing and re-signing. Like, the deal with the first one was the Steve Adams deal. And that's a really good deal for a guy of Steve Adams' caliber. Like, even at his age, and it's declining, right? Isn't Steve Adams' contract?
Steven Adams' contract is declining, yeah.
That's incredible. Like, how'd they get that level of buy-in? They have Fred VanVleet coming in at $25 per, so taking a discount starting next season. Well, a discount compared to this season.
Right.
They have that extension for Jabari Smith Jr., which looks like it's going to be about $24 million a year on average, which is also going to be a fantastic deal for the level of player he is. We're going to see what happens. They already had the deal with Alperen Şengün for on average of $35 million a year over 5 years, which is going to look like a steal by the end of his contract. We all knew it when it happened, when he signed that extension. We just know it's still going to happen. So the only question marks I have left right now is what do they do with Tari Eason and what do they do with Reed Shepherd? Reed Shepherd's still a little ways off.
Durant, right? But we
do with Durant.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, you're right. Like I think, like, it was huge that they narrowed in on these guys, that they got them at the numbers that they got them in, right? Like, and
Clint Capella at 7, Dorian Finney-Smith at middle exception.
Not just like that they got them at the numbers that they got them on, but like the amount of like non-guaranteed that's in Dorian Finney. Like the last 2 years are just like non-guarantees. They can like that contract almost makes up for the sting of Cam Whitmore, right? Because it's like, okay, like if you're picking between getting Dorian Finney-Smith on that contract versus losing Cam Whitmore, it's like, okay, I can see why they made that financial decision. Because not only are you getting that contract, you're not having to pay Cam Whitmore potentially in the future, which they may not be able to do, right?
Yeah.
That contract could be amazing for trade bait.
This is the thing about a contending team is that in order to keep your wheels rolling, you have to have not just a bunch of young players, but you need to have some older players on these kind of contracts. Like they're doing what needs to be done to be a contending team for now and the future. That's my take, is that their future prospects look shockingly good given all this. The best thing they did in this trade was get rid of contracts they needed to get rid of. They needed to get rid of Jaylen Green's contract specifically because they needed that to make room for these other guys who they're giving extensions to. And they needed to get rid of Dylan Brooks' contract because they needed to make contract and minutes room for these other players as well. There's a meaningful discount going from Dylan Brooks. It's only like $6 million a year, but that's a meaningful discount going from Dylan Brooks to Dorian Finney-Smith. And the years on there, like that's lining up with probably where they're going to and probably gonna be a 2-year contract with Kevin Durant. In a couple of years after this particular go ends up, here's what we're looking at. We're looking at Kevin Durant. They can choose to keep him or not. Like Kevin Durant and the Rockets
We'll
can
see.
negotiate that when they get there.
Yeah, yeah.
They'll see how they feel in 2 more seasons after this season, right?
Mm-hmm.
They'll deal with that. Dorian Finney-Smith, they can stay with or move on from easily as they see fit, and then they have their core 5 hanging around. Like also, but she's like Fred VanVleet's contract's going around that time.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Adams' contract ends around that time.
Mm-hmm.
They have timed these older players' contracts out so they're shorter, and they have spots where they can make course corrections if they need to. They're going to drop the whole lot of money off the books and still have those 5 core players there, forming what's possibly going to be a new starting 5 for the team. Like in a perfect world, Reed Shepherd, Amen Thompson, Tari Eason, Jabari Smith Jr., and Alperen Sengun is your starting 5 in 3 years.
They're possibly the shrewdest financial team in the NBA. Right? I think they could probably lay claim to that if they want it. Right? Like that. They are very smart about lining these contracts up. They're very good about negotiating. Right? Because a lot of teams don't negotiate. Period. Right? Look at Paolo Banchero. Right? He just got it.
And
right?
good for him.
Right?
Yeah.
Like Jabari had to negotiate with Houston. Right? And yeah, some of that is listen, Jabari didn't play well enough to just get it, right? But so I'm not sure if he did play that well, if Houston would just given him that. I think looking at what they've done, I feel like they have a stomach for a hardball that most teams in the NBA just do not have.
Well, it's surprising too, right? They have that Morey-esque hardball instinct, like you said, but they've also been getting buy-in from players at a level we haven't really seen before.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Udoka signing was the starting point of a very team-friendly move from this, a very player-friendly move from this team.
Mm-hmm.
This is very much a team that players like to be on.
Mm-hmm. The vibes are always Jaylen Green leaves and writes a essay, right, on the team, right?
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
How much he loves Houston, right? That's what you've established here. And as much as we loved that Rockets team with Chris Paul, PJ Tucker, James Harden, that team, Clint Capella, even though they didn't win a title, I loved that team.
They're one of the best of all time.
They didn't have vibes like this in terms of when players left, they were bitter. They went on podcasts and they talked about how they were wronged, right?
And this is totally different. The players all talk about, I love being, even Dylan Brooks is hey, it was fantastic being there. I love the experience. Thank you all so much. The Cam Whitmore trade is the cost. That's the cost of this. That's the thing that people need to realize with the Cam Whitmore trade is that to have this kind of vibes, to have this kind of reputation with players, to keep players wanting to sign with you actively, you have to make trades like that. When a player wants out, when a young guy wants greener pastures where he can spread his wings, you have to let him out. You have to not worry about what kind of haul you're going to get in 100%. You're going to have to get a worse deal a little bit because you want to do right by these guys, because players remember that. Players are in the league, agents are in the league. They remember that you do right by the players. Mm-hmm. They remember that it's a place they can go and not feel like they're going to get locked into a jail cell until their contract is over.
Right. And this is another long-term implication. And we kind of already knew this, but it kind of got confirmed. Ime has a ton of influence on the front office. It started with that summer that they chose Fred VanVleet over James Harden, right? And I criticized that move. I was like, I'm not sure if they're gonna like this long term. If this is the right call long term. I think part of him making these calls is him feeling out vibe wise what is best. Right? It's not just right. James Harden, yes, it'd be a great story for the fans, but for the people in that locker room who have to work every day, right? Is you're picking between VanVleet as the leader or you're picking between James Harden, right? And stuff like that, I am very reluctant about giving a coach that much say into front office decisions. This appears to be a situation where they have a smart coach. It's like Pop being the president of basketball operations, right?
We've said for years that you want to emulate San Antonio Spurs' front office and their management style as much as possible. Mm-hmm. That you want to create stability, you want to create a positive workplace, you want to create harmony and growth as your experiences playing for the team. It matters what it's like to go to work for the team, not just how well you do when you're on the basketball court.
Mm-hmm.
These guys have a whole life that isn't just literally the 48 game minutes 3 times a week on the court.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that they have something really good here. I think they understand that they need to keep cultivating this. I hope that the welcome does not wear out. I mean, it's still early, right? This is still in the first 3 years of Udoka being the coach.
Mm-hmm.
And you never know. Things change quick in the NBA. The dream, to me, what might be all right, a championship is always number one hope. But like, what would you rather have? Would you rather have one championship or have Udoka, Stone, like Amen Thompson for 20 years? Like these guys for 2 decades as like a Spurs-esque positive workplace, like team that people want to be on.
Right. And like again, like I think people may not understand what I mean when I say like it got confirmed this summer how much like the Rockets initially were reluctant to chase Kevin Durant. Ime is the one who pushed them over the edge, right? Like the Van Vliet thing, right? Like Ime pushed them over the edge. He pushed them towards Van Vliet, right? They were going towards Harden. He pushed them towards Van Vliet. Like the Whitmore thing, right? Like this is something that like I think it's possible the front office may have wanted to stick it out with Whitmore, right? But like they're like Ime is like, listen, this guy's not going to play for me, right? He's just not, right? He pushed them over the edge, right? For good or for bad. This is summer confirmed. It locked in like, hey, this guy has a lot of influence. I think it's a good, right? Personally think like, listen, you know how I feel about like the whole front offices who take it too far with the culture crap, right? Like Miami, right? Like they drive me freaking nuts in the numbskull decisions that they make, right? Because of culture, right? Houston is doing it the right way. They're mixing it in with some of that hardball stuff, right? I think
you need both. Yeah, you gotta have both.
Yeah, you need both, right? And like I think Houston is doing it the right way. Another long-term implication. Like I think Kevin Durant's more of a rental than outsiders may look at it. Like you kind of touched on it. He could fall off the books, and they could seamlessly go into their next phase as a franchise.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they give him a 1-1, right? If like it's this season, and then next season, a season after that, it's 1 year and a player option at whatever amount they agree to. Somewhere between like 40 and 60 million per year. Right. Who knows where exactly.
I think they're going to pay. They're paying the tax this year. I think they're probably going to pay for 2 more years, right? And I think they're going to want to get out of it for like so they're not in repeater, right?
I mean that's the play, right? Because they're going to pay tax, but not hitting the apron this year. They're below the apron, which is important. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if there's like 2 or 3 years of Kevin Durant where they're taxpayers, and then he leaves and they fall just below the tax for a bit to reset that timer. Yeah. And because I think they can do that once they get his contract off the books, which, you know what's a good facsimile? Celtics, when they traded for Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward, they signed, and like they were in that transition period. They had Tatum and Brown already on the team, right? They had Smart on the team, but really they were still kind of like trying to go win now, and they're trying keep growing,
right? Yeah. Like, and it didn't work out for them, right? For various reasons. Like, I think injury really screwed that Celtics team from doing it. And
it worked pretty well though. They were a couple injuries away from it, in my opinion.
Right? Yeah, like that Kyrie Gordon Hayward team was like kind of a good example, and they had Horford too, right? Horford was another win now signing that they made, right? Like. That's it feels like kind of what they're doing here. Like a 2 timelines kind of approach, but like a healthy version of it, not the Warriors version of it, right?
Yeah.
Like,
well, the thing about why it makes more sense in Houston is because the Warriors 2 timelines is we have our core is the old one, and we're trying to grow new guys into that core. Whereas in this, the core is the young group, and they're supplementing it with older guys as they go. Older guys can be slotted in and out. They have already developed into who they are. Right. They are veterans are plug and play.
They're almost
rookies are not.
They're almost temporary core players.
Yeah. I mean that's normal. That's regular for teams.
Well, yeah. I mean,
have their core and retool around it. But
Kevin Durant is a pretty like I feel weird calling him a supplementary player, right?
Like, he's like a temporary core player, but that's also not that unusual for someone to come in and to be a big part of a team for a while. It's like older veterans coming in to try to win a championship with a younger team is not a new phenomenon, and it's worked frequently in history. So yeah, it makes a lot more sense when the core timeline is the young one and not the old one. That's the difference.
Yeah, no, you're right. That is a smart way to look at it, and that's what that Celtics team was, right? Like, Tatum, Brown, that was the core, and now in Houston, it's probably Şengün and Thompson, right? Like
and then the other guys, depending on we'll see where they end up fitting in that tiering.
Jabari, right? Yeah, I mean, like, it is very much like we get the luxury of playing it this way, right? And like in 3 years we can reset, right? And I think that's kind of like a fun thing to do, and that's why you get the 5-year deals, right? The 5-year extension with Jabari, because you don't have to worry about when you get to that transitionary period.
Yeah, what do you do with these guys?
Yeah, you're not going to lose control. You can kind of keep them under contract and like kind of decide, right?
Yeah, almost certainly everyone, all these players, all the core 5 are all going to be under contract, and not just under contract, but like with a couple more years left under contract when they get to that point.
Yeah.
So that none of them are. It's not going to be like a decision-making year for any of those guys. It's just for all the older guys.
Do you think the national media has caught on to Houston's like 2 timeline thing? I feel like locally, no, like, I mean, like, I'm being serious here. Like, I know that like everyone knows the Rockets are going to be good next year, and they intend to be good the following year. But do they kind of understand that like this is like a 3-year kind of thing? Has it become like known? I think people who follow the Rockets religiously know, but I don't know if people nationally know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's that you don't get intimate enough with the team to really like spot this sort of stuff, and also just in general, they're not worried about like what is this team planning to do in 3 years.
Yeah,
like I mean, they'll kind of talk about it, but it's not like who's going to win a championship next year is the big concern.
Right.
But it is very interesting that like it is very clear that they want to have these 5 dudes. They're eyeing it. This is going to be a new championship contender after the Kevin Durant years.
Yeah.
They've rented themselves a championship window now so they can get ready for another bigger championship window after that. Yeah. That's the plan.
Yeah. And I feel like you're right. You only really know that if you look at the books, right?
Yeah.
You only really know that if you really paid attention to Fred VanVleet's contract, right? Like, it's like, oh, that's a pretty big indicator. Like, after next season's like their last year with a real point guard. Like, it feels like after that, like
they're hoping it's
Reed, right? Yeah, that's kind of what they're. You can look like they're choreographing it, but only we're picking it up because we're paying attention to their books. Well, nobody really cares about their books nationally, right? They care about the roster.
Yeah, and it's super ambitious is the thing too. It's like their planning is clearly, again, they want these 5 dudes to be their starters in a new championship core, or at least like
core pieces, or
important pieces. Yeah. But like, this is 5 guys who will have in this world they're aiming for have only ever played on the same NBA team together.
Yeah,
like that's if like in the best possible scenario where they win a championship with Kevin Durant, coming back around with these guys who are going to be super tight knit at that point. They're going to have like know each other like brothers by that time, and spent between what like
7 or 8 years at that point.
Yeah, I've spent like 7 years together or something, and then they're ready to just like to go get it. To now the keys are fully theirs, and they're the ones that are going to be built around. Like that's a really ambitious plan. Honestly, and if it works out, it's
ironic
incredible
that Ime saw this in Boston, right? Like, he oversaw that transitionary period in Boston where they made the transition from that old core to the new core, right? And we started viewing the Celtics as the title contender. It's ironic that he's the head coach here, and like they're doing it here too, right? And he's from San Antonio, right? Like, they did that in San Antonio with David Robinson transitioning to Duncan. They did the 2 timelines thing there too, but that was kind of a luck thingy, right? Like, that was like you won the lottery. They tanked like crazy. They tanked like crazy for Duncan.
The luck. Well, they got lucky at 2 points in San Antonio, which is that they happened to tank at a year when like the best player of his generation was available.
I don't think they happened to. They very deliberately ran that team into the ground.
Well, they didn't break Robinson's ankle.
No, yeah, like, you're right. But like,
they took advantage of that situation. Sure. But luck is us being ready to take advantage of a situation.
And then, you're gonna say Kawhi now?
than Kawhi. That one was real. Like, they were smart to pick Kawhi, but he got better than they thought he was. Like, they didn't think he was going to be that good.
No.
But the rest of it wasn't luck. The part where they had 20 years of the big three, where they had a bunch of guys who were fully devoted to staying in Houston. I mean, they had tribulation with that. Remember what happened with Tim Duncan in Orlando, that he almost went to Orlando early in his career. But once they got over that hump, they had a bunch of guys. That's what they want. That's what they want in Houston, is they want a bunch of guys who want to be there their whole career. So they just have this like rock to build around and to take swings and to try to get lucky for years and years and years and years.
God, if they thought we sounded like homers on the last episode, like...
I mean, look. There's
no. I'm with you. I feel that same level of like I'm thinking about it. I may not be saying it as like you are, but like I'm thinking about it.
Look, there's no guarantee it works, right?
Yeah,
there's no guarantee it works. But I see what they're planning. I see what they want and what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
And what I can say is that these players love being there. Like, that much is not at issue. Like, the players the Rockets have drafted, they have drank the Houston Kool-Aid. They have drank the purple drink. All right. They are all in on Houston. That might change. Who knows? Maybe things go bad this year. Maybe Kevin Durant curdles the milk. I don't know. But now
it's Sprite. It's not milk.
Yeah, curdles the Sprite. You don't want curdle Sprite. What the front office and Udoka are doing looks really, really, really smart right now. Yeah. And it is going to be risky, but it's a smart play. It's not that. Is it riskier than, trading all these guys for a bunch of current stars? I don't think so. Yeah. I think if I had, look, if anyone's going to blame me being a homer, do I think they're going to
do it anyways?
Season?
They're going to do it.
Yeah.
To talk with your heart. Go ahead. Yeah.
Like, do I think the Rockets are going to win a championship this season? No, I don't. The numbers are against them. The numbers are against everybody. But there's so many damn good teams in the league right now. I think OKC is an obvious and extremely tough obstacle to overcome. They got teams like the Nuggets, and it's just the playoffs. The playoffs are hard. They've been in one series before. I don't like. Would I be ecstatic if this was the year? It'd be incredible to watch. I would love it. Yes. Do I expect it to happen? No. Do I expect it to happen after that? No. Winning a championship is really hard. Every given year, the chance of doing it is so low. People don't appreciate how low the chance is just by nature of being a 30-team league. It's tough. So the chances that they win a championship over this whole thing, if they do this plan, if they try to do, championship window, very fast bump, championship window with this 5-man core again, the chances they win a championship over the whole thing are low. Like, they might never win a championship during the whole career of Reed, Shepard, Amen Thompson, so on.
Celtics are the 2-time one thing. They came out with one, right?
Yeah, they came out with one.
Yeah.
And that was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
But, if they don't win a single championship, this can still be a really effective plan. That's the thing, is that they're shooting for the moon and then hoping to land in the stars.
That's all you got to do, right? Like that's what the job is, right? If you're doing it right.
If they come out of this with a team that is good to great every single year for the next 10 years, with a bunch of guys who want to be there, a stable front office, a stable coach, something that the fans can come to expect year in, year out, and cheer for with all their hearts, that's a winning team to me.
That's what the Harden years were, right? Like they got 9 years out of Harden. Every year it was good to great, right? And they almost won it, and they didn't. But like that's all you want, right? You just want that window where you can.
Yeah, exactly. You just want to have a shot. That's what the Spurs did, and that's what the Rockets are trying to do. Is just to make it so they have a shot every year. Whether they make it or not, who knows? Only time will tell. And I don't know if they're going to be. It's so hard. You have to get so lucky to win a championship. But if they just have a shot every single year, if they have like a decade where they have a shot every year, that's something that other fan bases are going to be deeply, deeply jealous of, and that
other than the Thunder, because I think the Thunder may have that as well, right? In a different way, but right? Like no, it is. Yeah, I mean, we sound like crazy homers, but yeah, I'm with you, man. Like, no, I'm with you. I'm drinking the perp, right? Like that's what you said. Yeah. That was your metaphor, right? I'm drinking that with you. I'm right there. I think this team is going to be freaking awesome next year. I think long term their plan makes sense. Did they make mistakes along the way this rebuild? Yeah, they made mistakes. But everyone makes mistakes. You You don't have to agree with every move they made, right? But some of their mistakes actually worked out to their benefit. Like if they got Evan Mobley instead of Jaylen Green, is it possible they are too good to get
You can't.
Reed
Yeah.
Shepard, Jabari Smith, and Amen Thompson?
You can't know.
Yeah,
there's no way to know.
right. Like so it's just like all you got to do is the best management of your assets you can, and that's what Rafael did. He did a damn good job at managing the assets.
As the wise man said, you write the story while the ball's in the air. So all we can do is say when they did the move, was the move smart?
Look, they all feel smart. I mean, they all certainly feel smart. Yeah. No, I mean, like, it's really long-term implications wise. That to me is like kind of what I wanted to end on. It's like that's what this is. It's like the 2 timeline thing is kind of like a secret little story that I think we know about, right? That they are trying to do, and we'll see if they can pull it off. But it is freaking exciting that we see that they have a plan, that they've executed on their plan, on their outwards plan as well as they have, right? Their outwards plan is like, let's build a contender. We built a contender, right? Now their secret little plan is like the 2 timeline thing, right?
Yeah, they have their quiet long-term plan.
Yeah, and we'll just see if that works out.
That's all you can ask.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to the show. It was a long show, but I really wanted to brief on this team because, like, honestly, I think about the roster, I think about the team, what they're doing with their books every day. I really do, because it's goddamn interesting.
The season cannot come soon enough.
Yeah.
I need to see these guys play.
I really want to see them play. Like, Reed Shepard for like a game and a half in summer league is not enough, right? Like, it's not enough.
No.
I want to see the real thing. All right, guys. Subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher. Does Stitcher even exist anymore? Do I need to stop saying that? I think
I haven't gone to Stitcher in a long time, but I never did, so I couldn't tell you.
Fair. Yeah. Okay. I guess
I'm very old.
Wherever else you listen to podcasts, YouTube, give us thumbs up on YouTube, and yeah, hope you guys enjoy the show.